It is a serious business week. All right, good to see you though, straight from Nyamira. It's raining and nice to have you as well on a Tuesday.
Incidentally, it's not as wet in Nyamira as it is in Nairobi, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, huh?
Yeah, I mean like, I left Nyamira quite late yesterday, 5 o'clock. It was not raining. Maybe this morning, but for yesterday there was really no rain, but it's been a good Easter holiday. Trying to catch up with the people in the countryside. And I hope the Uda administration knows that people are really suffering. You know, the cost of living.
Just put over. Yes,
You know, the cost of living has really skyrocketed. The price of, you know, the 2 kilogram tin of maize.
Goro.
Is selling at 180 shillings, and taking that to the portion mill, you spend another 20 shillings. So it's 200 shillings. And you know, the questions we keep on asking is, the people keep on asking, not even some of us, is when will the Uda administration start fixing the economy so that people can start benefiting from the many promises that were made to people. You know, I was talking to the borders, and they said they were told during the campaign that they are going to, this will be their government. They will form the government together with Mama Mbogas. But really, I think the moment President William Ruto lifted the Bible, he totally forgot about the people who took him to State House. So even as we discuss about forming this parliamentary team, you know, to look at how we can address the issues that are affecting Kenyans, there's a lot of disillusionment down at Mashinani level. People feel like they were just cheated by this government. They feel, other than seeing a reward that has been made to a few friends who surround the president, he has not done anything that has been impactful to the Mwananchi down there, including even issues of school fees. I was surprised. I was in North Mogirango, and you know, I felt like we want to treat Kenyans like they don't reason, they don't see. People are being given 2,000 shillings for bursary. 2,000 shillings for bursary. So one mama was asking me, is this fair? My transport that I spent to go and pick the form, I went back, filled it, returned again. Then I went to attend a meeting where the announcement was made, and all I got is 2,000. I mean, they are saying they are worse off than they were before. So I really hope that the people who speak to the president from down there, Mashinani, are really having a conversation, a genuine conversation to the president. And the conversation not be debarred about telling people that we are going to give you cheap fertilizer and maize, then you plant, then you will have a solution August. People are looking to the promise. It was 100 days after lifting the Bible. So the solution that Kenyans are waiting for should have come like yesterday, not August. And this idea of, I came in when the governor here was talking about people trying to create excuses. You know, Mheshimiwa, you know what happened in the US in 1933 when President Roosevelt took the reins of power. The situation was worse off than what we have. Americans were not able to withdraw. You know, money in the bank. People are not able to withdraw money from the bank. There were long queues for bread. There was not even the bread was not even available. And you know, Roosevelt told Americans, if you elect me, within the first 100 days, I'll fix the economy. He never spent time crying to Americans, telling them, you know, I've inherited an economy that has got no money. You know how depression has hit us. No, he went, you know, forward and fixed the problem. So I want to appeal to the Uda administration to know that once you take over the reins of power, you fix the problems that are facing the people that you lead. If you start talking about the other administration, then you are simply telling us you want to quit. You can't take the heat in the kitchen. So we want solutions that can solve the myriad problems that Kenyans are facing demand. And I hope this morning we'll see progress and good faith from the Ruto administration. I've read in the newspapers that they have called for their PG this morning to unleash the names of the 7 from the Ruto administration that will join the 7 that we have already named from Azimio, so that we can start a genuine conversation on how we fix the problems that are facing this country. Yeah.
But from your side as well, we understand that the bipartisan way is not really the prime solution that you want from the Azimio side.
I normally don't like, throwing back a question to a question, but you understand from who? Because I attended a PG, I think Mheshimiwa, you were there. I attended a PG, I was present, and we set our terms, we released a press, it was in public, not in private. So who else again should tell you which source is this? Because it was public. We did this publicly, and we unleashed the names, and we set our terms of engagement. So other than that, I don't think we're playing any other cards under the table. Unless there is no good faith from the other side, then we'll go back and make another communication on the way forward. But for now, we have put our terms of reference on the table. We have given our team powers to go and negotiate along those terms. If there is good faith, we'll get somewhere. But if there is bad faith, we'll not get anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I closer home?
Can I?
I know we should we'll go right to Senator Mora. Senator went to Roosevelt. In more recent times in Kenya, in history, the late Mwai Kibaki, third president, inherited a country that was in a way worse circumstance. Every single road in Kenya had a pothole. Every single road. Not the kind of... Every single road in Kenya had a pothole. About 2 million kids were not in school. But Kibaki did not start with excuses of saying, for the last 24 years. For the last 24 years, these people, they have done. Kibaki just got on with the job. Yeah. On day one of him being in office, we had free primary education. Yeah. And he just got on with it. By day 30 of his being in office, interest rates were about half what they were previously. By day 60, interest rates banks were going out on the streets looking for customers, asking utaki mkopo ya salo. I mean, this, on the weekend I took an Uber, and the nice young man in the Uber told me, these people, I think they should be called Kumaliza Kenya.
Maura, Kumaliza Kenya, I think Maura also has this a very interesting way of coming up with the monikers. He's the one who I think came up with Kieleweke na Tanga. Yeah, but I wanted just to throw back also to you what we have on the front page. Not really the editorial pages. If my director may just pick up this editorial cartoon, we'll look at it. Very interesting editorial cartoons lately that we've had. And this is what Gado has drawn today. He says, look, we are falling behind with this, your debt. This is Arab Singh talking. And of course, talking to some of the Asian economists there. He says, we need you to go easy on us. No problem. We'll give you another loan to finance your debts. And you can see how, of course, the officials there are really happy with the refinancing. So we're borrowing to, of course, finance our debt as it is. We have a very interesting editorial cartoon also from Victor today. And now this is a public service. You've seen now what we have in the dailies that they're threatening to go back to the streets. The salaries counter there is closed. And we have the reasons counter which are open. We have the excuses counter also which are open. Reasons from the president, excuses from also regarding Gachagua. We have stories from some of the cabinet secretaries led there by the Cabinet Secretary of Transport, Murkomen. So this is the reality on the ground. The public servants, right now, they're threatening to go on a go-slow. And, of course, after the long weekend is, we know the resumption of Parliament today, and also the issue back to work is the Azimio and Kenya Kwanya. You can see there on the entry, the wage bill is piling up. Cost of living is piling up. Devolved funds as well. That money seems not really be piling up as it is. It is stuck there. We have Jesus, of course, who everyone is looking forward to in the country to fix us. He said, help us fix the economy. High cost of living, drug menace, unemployment, and poverty. And we have the Kenya Kwanya administration, of course, now milking this skeletal there over cattle. This is a taxpayer. We have the CS's position. We have cars, we have furniture, hospitality, civil servant salaries, counties, and of course all these cans are expected to be filled by this emaciated, of course, dead cow as it is. It's a dead economy. Maura is busy, I think, seeking advice. I can see him tapping away on his phone.
Yeah. He's getting texts.
He's getting instructions from no, I mean, I think
because you have two Azimio, it's only fair for you
to get twice as much.
For you to get a portion of time.
Yeah, but I'm not in a combat mode as well. I think
it's a pity that Farah Maalim has not shown up. You know, he's leaning towards.
No, even if he were not, he's still a Wiper member. Let me say this. Let's not compare the incomparable. When Mwai Kibaki took over government, we had a very small economy. I think it was less than 200 billion Kenya shillings then. And it's true, KANU had mismanaged the economy, and things were very, very dire. But we are in a situation where we have an administration that has outspent its credit. If you look at our economy, there are over 100 billion shillings that were not even budgeted for, and another one committed. So those are two different things. If you look at the monies borrowed up to the time President Kibaki left office, it was about 1.8 trillion. Now we have over 10 trillion. Actually, my estimate is much more than that. So we have an insolvent economy, basically, that has overborrowed. And the whole issue when this was happening, we were being told, oh, Japan has borrowed over 200% and what have you. So basically, let us not try to imagine that we are where we were in 2002. No, I don't think so. We are not even where we were in 1992, when there was even devaluation of the shilling. It's a more complex system, We have devolution, which also, about 400 billion goes directly to county governments. And that's a new tier of government that did not exist at that point in time. So things have compounded, and Albert Einstein says that you need more knowledge to resolve a problem than the one that you had when you created the problem. So I don't think we can just say this was it and this is the point. And also you must also look at the paradigm, and we have to appreciate this. President William Ruto is more about production, based on his background as in agriculture. President Kibaki was an economist. I don't know what President Uhuru was, but clearly we must also not say that things will disappear just because there is a new administration in place. I think that's not fair to anybody, even if it was Derito Mureithi here, or Okongo Mugeni when he becomes a governor of Nyamira, if he has such ambitions. You have to look at what you are working with. This is an administration that has only been trying to settle for the last 6 months or so. Then you go into maandamano and you try to sabotage the economy. How is that going to actually help to improve the economy when you go to the streets to protest? I don't think it can. Basically, it's a political contestation around how to fix the economy, but it didn't matter who became president. Let me insist this. It didn't matter who became president. The crisis was fomenting, it was snowballing, and we saw it coming. And I know Dr. Murray says that we were part of that administration. Yes, but we were questioning it. The first part of the Uhuru administration, I was in the opposition in court. The second part, yes, I joined, but we were kicked out by the handshake. Really, we were basically backbenchers in our own government. So I think we have to look at things in context, so that then we understand where we're coming from. Like now, when Kibaki took over, he could borrow from the Bretton Woods institutions, but now here we have actually overborrowed. So there is no fiscal headroom, in terms of doing so. And when you talk about refinancing, it is the only way to go. Because if you can get somebody to take over your maturing loans now, and then you spread them over time at a lower interest rate, I think you have to go for that, so that you get a breather. But we have still done it even in the last administration. I remember I was the vice chairman of Finance and Budget Committee of Senate, and we were supposed to increase debt from 6 to 9 trillion. I refused. In fact, because I was nominated and I was being targeted, because I had received a lot of calls, including for the Minister of Finance, I had to recuse myself in a way, because I could see, then we expended that 3 trillion within no time. So I think what I'm trying to say in short, we really have to think out of the box. And this is if there is anything that needs to be done in the so-called bipartisan way, it is the economy. It's not even about, I don't know, IBC. It's not about, I don't know what happened, I don't know which servers that have never been opened. It's about how do we fix the economy that we got ourselves in the mess into. And we have to have very serious questions. For example, if Kenyans, now I saw there was a proposal in the National Assembly to increase counties from 47 to 56. You have Kuria County, I don't know which other one. Yet for me, in my humble submission, they should be reduced to 16 or 17. So that then we can have a manageable economy. When you come to assessed clause that I was trying to introduce in the Senate that did not go through, where every state corporation can only exist up to 20 years, and after that it ceases, because it shall have resolved their problem. Those are the hard questions we should be asking ourselves. Now today, Dr. Murray is saying that we should retrench. I don't know, maybe that was part of the grievances that people like keep your hands so that he was not re-elected. Yet I believe in his leadership, and I have said as much to him. But today, if you retrench, you'll be told, "Nyinyi mulikuja kusema mnatengeza kazi ama mnafuta watu kazi." You see, there's a political question about it. So it is not a walk in the park. And we are coming to your show, Debal, to tell you honestly, it is not easy as it is. If we can sit down and think through and see how we can go about it, it would help. If you talk about subsidies, for example, I have seen a proposal by Edwin Sifuna, the Secretary General of ODM, that we subsidize, UNGA for the next 6 months. It was done so in the previous administration. We ended up with spending about 16 billion shillings on subsidies per month, really gobbling up the whole of the development budget, which is about 300 billion. You cannot sustain a country that way. And even then, you still have about 8 billion that people who are supposed to benefit from that, subsidy are saying they never got their money paid. So I think when we talk about a shift in terms of subsidizing production, the results are not immediate. And I don't even think President Mwai Kibaki was very popular by the time we went to the 2007 general elections, because people could not understand what he was doing. It had to take him the National Accord government, for people to fully understand, and even after that, actually, to understand that possibly he must have been the best president that we've ever had so far, for those that have retired. So I think it takes time, and for me, what I would want to call for Kenyans, it may not be easy, but we have to call for patience. There is no silver bullet in this whole issue. And also, let me disabuse the notion that there are some promises that were made by this administration within 100 days. Yes, there were, but most of them were media generated. They were not from our manifesto. If you look at the plan, there is what we say. We have a very clear plan, for example, of how to finance infrastructure. The current kind of infrastructural growth that is public debt driven is not sustainable, because even if you look at the goods that are being transported in those roads, they are not ours. It is basically the Belt and Silk Road policy of the Chinese. So it is them benefiting from that, because we are opening the African hinterland for their own products. But us, we are not, getting an equivalent, amount of, goods, traversing the same roads that we are proud of, other than increasing the cost of real estate, which then makes housing unaffordable to Kenyans. And that is why there is affordable housing that the president is trying to look at. I know for sure, it's a question of, the big, huge transformational projects, but there's the small little ones that make sense. And that is the nexus that then you get in terms of counties, in terms of ward funds, for example, in terms of the hustler fund, micro loans. So you have to have a mixed berry of solutions but geared towards productivity rather than consumption. Yeah.
All right, allow me just to take a short break. When we circle back, of course, we look at that. Also, depressing headlines that we had last week regarding jobs here in the country, that we have almost 67% of Kenyans who are unemployed, and they're not even looking forward to now even making those applications because nothing is really coming forth. We take a short break right now. You're watching Siasa Fiesta here on Morning Prime.